Good day, kind sirs and ladies. I hope you're having a fantastic one today, and let's get straight in on it. Remember, if you didn't see last week's, go back and check out last week's if you want the introduction to each and every single one of us. But for now, say hello, everyone.
Bonjour, konnichiwa.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, that's all I know.
Konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, guten tag, hi.
Okay, so that was hello from the gang. We are the Sanctuary Podcast, and I hope you're all having an amazing day. So let's jump straight into it. This week, we are going to start with the speed questions for any of our guests as well. So we'll be doing the first few weeks where we do these ourselves, and then any of our guests will be asked to answer these questions as well. So we're going to aim these in alphabetical order. We are going to start with Aaron, obviously. So, Aaron, if you're ready, what is your first game in memory?
My first ever gaming memory was losing my progress on Spyro because I didn't have a PS1 memory card.
Oof. First console played?
Sega Master System 2.
First game played?
Spyro, San Andreas, Alex the Kid.
Nice. Favorite ever game?
Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
And the series? Favorite series?
Call of Duty.
If you could be a gaming character, who would you be?
I would be Kratos off God of War because he's powerful and a god.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could date a gaming character, who would it be and why?
It'd be Jill Valentine off of Resident Evil because she's hot and sexy.
True. But a best gaming moment?
Best gaming moment would be getting my first Nuke on Black Ops 2.
Nice. So that is the quick fire questions, and to go back to that slightly. So you would like a Jill sandwich, would you?
Oh, I would.
that had to be the worst translated line in the world when it comes down to it. So where we're going for today is mental health in video games and success in video games over a long period of time. I'm sure each and every single one of you have games that come to mind when in both of those subjects. And then we'll be wrapping it up, obviously, and giving the final words to these amazing human beings that we have in the ears right now. So, let's start off with mental health in video games. Who would like to start that? Good.
Not it.
Not me.
Okay, Bear's gone distinctly quiet as well. So let's start off with.
Go on then, I'll do it.
Go on, good lad.
So, one of the things that people often complain about with video games is that video games, a lot like the media in terms of films and stuff, can be really slow to adapt to real life modern demographics of people in life. And one of those demographics is people suffering from mental health difficulties, problems, all manner of things. There is so many different examples of it in real life, but in video games it felt like this took a while to kind of sort of filter in, so to speak. But it has, I think, become a lot more prevalent of the last decade, certainly. I couldn't name you very many characters before 2010, but since then, I mean, from my own perspective, I am a huge fan of the Persona series, particularly Persona 5, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive at the moment. And on that game, there are two characters who actually suffer with mental health. Now, the game itself, I hasten to add, it has a lot of dark themes and arcs. Particularly the very first one is such a dark arc, to even play through. And I attempted to stream that and realised halfway through how really uncomfortable it was, because there are a lot of themes in there, and I don't want to kind of go through that now because that is obviously a wider subject area. But one of the main things about the game is, as you're going through these different arcs, you're helping individual people or characters. And in Persona 5, there was a character called Futaba who suffered from depression and loneliness. Her mother had died as she was a child, and she blamed herself for it, and it just created this really, she'd had a lot of negativity and dark thoughts, and she kind of hid herself away. And the entire essence of that story arc is that as the characters, you're unlocking her heart, getting into the matter of the problem, kind of helping her through it. And a lot of the games represent the themes in the level design and such. And then the only thing I can add on top of that as well, once you've dealt with that particular arc, is if you get the latest edition, the Royal version, there's another character who suffers from body dysmorphia. Which, to say it's a Japanese-made game by Japanese developers, they're now approaching this subject area, I think that could only be a good thing.
Exactly. Let's be honest. Most Japanese games just try to look up women's skirts.
Oh, don't worry. This is like all those games as well. There is an element of that as well. But when it comes to these arcs, that element disappears. Yeah, they do throw humor in because they have to. Like the very first arc is so dark, but once you get past that, the game it can become really beautiful, and you do get a lot of that kind of humor being thrown in to try and make it easier.
Yeah, I think you need that comedy relief over stuff like that.
Oh, you do.
So would you say it's more of an adult game? So it's definitely an adult game. It's not aimed at. That's the demographic it's aimed at. It's adult.
I would say it's a 15.
Yeah.
In terms of the kind of the stuff I know you're hinting at, it's subtle, but it is there, and you can see it. There are some things that are a bit more mature than they should be.
The reason why I bring it being an adult game up is because obviously there is a few other adult games that mention mental health. So, for example, you've got like your Heavy Rain aspects. If you've ever played Heavy Rain, I won't spoil Heavy Rain because obviously it is a story-based game, but that includes like your mental health as well. You also have Detroit Become Human. That references mental health and everything along those lines. But again, because they're story-based games, I don't want to talk too much about them. But the dad of the young girl is definitely displaying a lot of mental health issues. And it shows the darker side of it. And I think it's very easy to dismiss him as a character and be like, he's just a prick. But in the same way, it offers something that's completely different. And when you look at his character more, and especially from a mental health perspective, you get an interesting view there. Other games, if any of you have any other games that you'd like to bring up there? Go on, Sophie.
I was gonna say like cricket noises. Okay, one that I'd think of is Stardew. Very much beloved game to my heart. I think at first, like, it's the kind of game that you think is like, all cheerful and chill, and actually it's a really good game to play for mental health. When you're feeling a bit shit and all that kind of thing. It's very soothing. But underlining there, like, as you get to know, like, more of the characters and you start making friends with them, you start to notice things. That everything isn't as happy as first portrayed. For example, one character I really like is Shane. At the start off, like, he seems like really, like, kind of mean, dismissive of you. But if you, like, persist and, like, become friends with him, you start finding out that actually he's got a lot of mental health issues. Mostly depression. He often talks about, like, killing himself in the game. He's a bit of an alcoholic. And, like, as you, like, go through the game and, like, make more friends with him, like, he starts to get better through, like, your friendship and, like, you looking after him. And it's such, like, they handle it really well in such a way that even, like I'd say, like, 12-year-olds could play it.
Yeah.
Like, even sort of kids could understand it. So it's not like, it's dark, but it's, like, a level that you could, like, learn from.
On the note of Shane, so how do you make friends with him so quickly there, saying that he's an alcoholic?
I thought for a second, because I started playing it again recently. I restarted it, and in the first year I managed to get him to do the flower dance with me. I wouldn't, like, it's funny in the game. So I say he's an alcoholic, okay, but the way that you make friends with people in game is by giving them their favourite gift. And one of their favourite, like, his favourite gift is beer. So it's not good in that way that you are enabling his, addiction by constantly giving him beer. I think, like, if there's anything in the game that I disagree with, I'd say taking that off of his gift list, because it's kind of sending mixed messages.
You, sir, are an alcoholic, but I like you. Here's a gift.
Here's some more beer.
For me personally, I haven't played the games that you mentioned today, but one game that's helped me massively with depression is Call of Duty. And I know it's not a typical, like, a depression game sort of thing, but it's helped me out personally. Like, back in, say, 2014, 2015, I was in a dark place, and just all of your mates hopping on to Call of Duty with you, having a nice time, it just got me through it. And yeah.
I think I could definitely say the same about Stardew. Like, it's helped me a hell of a lot. It's just certain games that you can go to and, feel better.
I can certainly say the same for Persona 5. I mean, I was at a really low point in life when I picked up that, and a lot of the kind of self-positivity sort of themes in that game, it kind of helped. It made me kind of reconsider the world around me, which led to me making some really positive decisions.
One of those positive decisions was liking me. No.
Can I also quickly add one final game I think's worth noting, just because it is a really good game and it hits on something that not many things hit on, even in like film media. Has anyone played Celeste?
I haven't, but
No.
Celeste, originally on Switch, is on PC. It's a really cheap game. It's a platformer. It's about a girl called Madeline who is trying to climb a mountain, which is called Celeste. And the whole point of that is because she suffers from anxiety and has reached this crisis point in her life where she doesn't know what path she should be taking for her future. And she basically decides that she wants to kind of seek out a sense of challenge and accomplishment, and therefore decides upon, conquering this mountain that's in front of her, which is kind of representing all of her problems, which I think is a really, beautiful concept.
There's also, as well as that game, and it does sound like a really, really nice concept. I might have to give it a go at some point. There's also games like Life is Strange, which obviously tackles some severe elements of depression. I think the whole Life is Strange series and the Don't Nod team never shy away from looking at depression as a topic and a talking point, and they do it really well. The one that most people would bring out is like Life is Strange 1. The first one where you have Chloe and you have, what's the other name?
Max.
Max. And there's definitely signs of mental health struggles within that game. And it is a very intriguing concept of what they produce, and I think Don't Nod do it extremely well in how they handle it. It's a recurring theme as well throughout their whole catalogue, in a way, because even in the Life is Strange 2, they reference a lot of the issues that you suffer with like mental health. So like the dad of the so if you go to the prequel of Life is Strange 2, you'll see it in a lot more detail. But again, story-based games, so don't want to spoil it, but great games to play through, especially if you're interested in those facts and looking at games that have mental health inside them. So would anyone like to say anything to wrap up that section?
Well, I'd like to say I'm probably at some point going to try the Life is Strange games. I've never properly played them, so I do intend on giving them a try. And I just want to give out a kind of last minute, honorary mention to Hellblade, which I know the title doesn't suggest it, but trust me, as a game that discusses mental health goes, by the end of it, you'll understand why I'm recommending it.
We could I think what we should do is within the Discord, within the It's Okay Not to Be Okay, we should bring up a list of games which are really, really important, and we can talk behind the scenes, and we can figure out a list of games which will be really good for people to play.
Or perhaps we could arrange a 12-hour stream of playing these games.
We most definitely could, especially if they're multiplayer, or even if it's a story-based game. So, for example, we could both start Detroit at the same time and see what ending we both get, for example. Or
Again, another game I've never played.
you will absolutely love it when you do play it. If you play it on PC, it does lag the PC slightly. But I believe you had a PlayStation Plus membership at one point.
I did.
Did you get Detroit during that period?
I don't have a PlayStation anymore.
Okay, you suck.
You joined the dark side. We lost.
I
him.
did. I joined the dark side and the fridge side, damn it.
So,
What?
moving on very quickly as we hear that evil cackle in the background. We'll go to success in video games, prolonged success in video games. So we're not talking about your bang and the day is gone kind of success. We're talking about prolonged success. I used to have an email address with Sillet Bang in it. I accept this. I live with this.
I wonder why you would have one with that in it, Bareth. I couldn't possibly imagine.
I know, right? That's a story for another day and a more rambly podcast, but definitely something we will touch on at some point, I am sure. So, success in video games long term. There's definitely going to be a few names that pop up, so we will start with anybody who wants to jump in first. Tumbleweed.
You know what? I will fire in a very quick one. I'm just going to simply say Minecraft to start with. I think we all know why. I mean, it's such a simple concept, isn't it, really? It's a world. There is the very slight essence of a story, but that's not why you really play Minecraft. It's not a story-based game. You play it because you are the story. You're creating the story, whether it's what you want to build today, what you and your friends are going to do together on it. I mean, the amount of builds I've had with friends, the amount of builds I've had on my own, I've lost track. I mean, I've bought Minecraft on the Switch, on the PlayStation 3, on the PlayStation 4, on the PC. I even bought it for my younger brother on Xbox, which, if you remember the last podcast, where I mentioned making a mistake with my mother in Animal Crossing, that was a repeat of the mistake I made with him and Minecraft and Rocket League. Oh, sweet God. But
why?
I also maintain that it was a great choice to make with him because he learned a lot from playing Minecraft that you didn't kind of realize at the time as well. I mean, when he was learning about like the different forces, like gravity and such, redstone and all, I was like watching this going, Jesus, how is he learning all of this from just this one game? But I also am very cautious that I don't want to call Minecraft a edutainment game because it really isn't. It's just fun. It's Lego. Let's be honest, it's Lego. But cheaper. Oh my God.
It is a lot cheaper than Lego, let's be fair. So we'll move on from Minecraft and we'll remember like the reasons why it was just listed that it was successful. Now, one of the other games I'd say that's, and it pains me to say this, is Fortnite.
Hey.
Ugh.
Fortnite appeals to kids mainly
Yeah.
because it's cartoony, it's funky, and it's everything. I wouldn't say everything a kid would want, but it's sort of everything a kid would want.
Short
In
of
a
giving
video
them a
game.
dog.
You can have a dog in Fortnite.
Oh, God's sake, no!
And just the way that the games come is being massive.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me how much it appealed to like kids. I kind of thought like, it's a shooting sort of, fighting game. It's going to be for like more young adults. But like when I worked in retail, like the shocking amount of kids that come in like seeking out like the Fortnite stickers, it really surprised me.
I have to
Now,
admit, it surprised me too. I know it's got cartoony graphics, and I know that it doesn't take itself seriously. Like, if you compare Fortnite and PUBG, for example, is like a you'd say they're quite similar in the field, wouldn't you, Aaron?
Yeah, it's got the same aspect to it.
But they are so different in the games, like the actual presentation styling.
One's based in real life, one's based in a simulation. Basically.
Why do you think though? I mean, with Minecraft, it was hard to do this comparison because there's nothing like Minecraft. But like with like Fortnite, this is why I brought it to Fortnite. I feel dirty for this. But it's seen off so much competition, and people are like, "Oh, this is gonna be the next Fortnite. This is gonna be the next Fortnite." There is not another Fortnite. Fortnite just keeps reinventing itself. It keeps making itself stronger and stronger, and it's like a plague. Sorry, COVID. Sorry, COVID. It's stronger than you.
I mean, it was like we discussed last podcast again. I mean, we talked about like one of the ultimate secrets to a game, and Minecraft is the same. It's how they reinvent themselves. People used to buy a game on a disc, and that was it. It never changed. Nowadays, you buy a game on a disc or online, and it's constantly evolving. Minecraft. How many updates has Minecraft had and added new things to keep it fresh and new? You've got GTA 5 that is second in the all-time sales list after Minecraft that keeps adding DLC for its online game. You've got, well, you've just mentioned Fortnite. They have seasons, don't they? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and battle passes and all that.
Exactly.
That's why every game now has got a power pass in it, because Fortnite's in it.
Well, Fortnite's done it and it's found it works. Now, I'm always a bit dubious with these kind of things because sometimes it can be like the steady kind of mission creep, if you will, towards loot boxes, which I understand why they have them and the enjoyment it can give some people. They're Cookie Squire, but the loot box system isn't great when you can see the negative impact it has on a lot of people and this constant pressure that if you don't keep up, you fall behind in online games like GTA, for example, where if you don't put your physical money in each month, you'll get bombed by a flying bike.
Yes and no. There are ways to grind out money, but it will just take you forever. Whereas the microtransactions is just a cheat code, basically, for that.
I just missed the days of cheat codes.
Talking about cheat codes, and this is a little bit of a tangent for a few seconds. There's very few games that like embrace cheat codes, right? Obviously, cheat codes were created by developers so they could test their games. Obviously, but The Sims has took it to another level. They've basically gone, these are cheat codes. Use them. These are on our website. We're telling you about them. We want you to use them. This is what The Sims is about.
The Sims is also about buying like a DLC pack of IKEA furniture as well. Let's be honest.
This kind of goes with the other thing, isn't it? They just go, oh, have IKEA furniture for £10. Thanks.
I mean, it's the cheapest you're ever going to pay for IKEA furniture, let's be honest, but still.
And less stress. And there's a far much less stress over putting over building furniture.
One thing, I don't know if anyone would be interested in this. I've actually got in front of me right now the list of all-time best-selling games.
Minecraft top.
Yep, 200 million sales.
GTA 5.
Yep,
135 million.
Tetris.
Sales.
No,
Tetris on the mobile. Yes, 100 million sales. The fourth one surprises me. It makes sense, but it surprises me.
I just knew Tetris was up there as well.
So third choice, I don't think anyone's going to get this, is Wii Sports with 82.9 million sales.
There's a key behind this one. There's a key behind this one, and I think they did it very well. It's not. I wouldn't say it's been a success in video game long term, but because every console sold was sold with that, they made that number up.
What is really fascinating is if you look through the platforms list of the top 20 games, right? 5 to 6 of them are Wii exclusive games. And I think the difference there in sales is that the Wii So when it comes to game sales, if the console itself is really inclusive for everyone, like the Wii was for the elderly, the really young, basically everyone apart from maybe your hardcore gamers, then I think the games that do really well on there are the kind of things that, aside from Mario Kart Wii, which, Mario Kart is Mario Kart, it's fun whatever age you are.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whereas like the other games are like your Wii Fit Plus.
The
Wii
Wii
Sports
definitely
Resort.
had a thing.
It did. Pokemon, funnily enough, appears at number 7 in the list, behind Super Mario Bros. The original, and, believe it or not, PUBG. Fortnite's not even in the top 20.
Call of Duty's got to be in the top.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare's 18th. Comes
As a
behind.
franchise, I think Call of Duty is really high, but I don't think it is
Yeah.
as a thing. But franchise-wise, I think it'd be interesting to do a game. We should do it probably on stream, where we do a higher or lower. Or we can do it for Christmas. We could have like a Christmas quiz, maybe. Higher or lower franchise numbers and like sale numbers. That'd be quite an interesting thing to do.
I agree. I'd just like to add one last thing that I just thought was really crazy about this list, right? You know the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, the one that's on virtually phone now. Well, it's virtually on phone, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Xbox Game Pass thing. It's
Yeah.
on every console. Yet that is 19th in the list, which I find really surprising. That the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim has sold less games, considering how many generations it spans, and how long it's been running, and how it's going. It sold less copies than like Wii Sports Resort or the Mario Kart Wii. I just want to say that because I thought that was a really curious point.
We'll
I
leave.
think at the end of the day, though, like Skyrim and like RPGs, they've got a lot of competition. Whereas something like Wii Sports is its own thing, isn't it?
True.
It's rare that you have like sort of proper sports games.
Exactly, and let's be honest. There was always the fat uncle who sat on his arse while playing Wii Sports Resorts and could beat you on a running race somehow, because he probably jerked off more than you.
Well then. What I also find curious is there is actually a FIFA game in the top 50. One single FIFA game is made in the top 50. But I find it really crazy they sold that many copies for one single game.
FIFA
What?
13.
Yeah.
FIFA 18.
That was trash.
And there's your review, ladies and gents.
It's trash, Aaron.
There is only one single game from 2020 that's made that list, by the way. And I think we talked about it last time, so there's no surprises.
Just like, I'm guessing Animal Crossing.
Yep, it's number 39.
As you say, Animal Crossing came out at the right time. It's the right time to be releasing games, but not film. Obviously, because cinemas are closed.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be like celebrating the death knell of cinemas because I do like cinemas, but I don't see why they can't be released anyway. Films
exactly,
in the same
and release them in a set way. Change the way they're set.
Example: have you ever rented something on Amazon Prime?
Yes.
Yeah, when you rent something, it lets you watch it, and once you've fully watched it, you've got 24 hours to watch it again, or it goes. Like, you could just do that.
Exactly, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But
Yes.
again, I prefer the cinema because sound quality and visuals are
Being
amazing.
able to get a blowjob in the back seat is also a bonus.
I think at the end of the day,
I
it's not
prefer
nice
home
to
now.
like leave the house and be somewhere else.
See,
Because
I
these
can
days,
see
like
both
less and
sides of
less
that.
things you actually go out for.
I want
Well-
to scream the word tangent here. I want to scream the word tangent and go back to success in video games long term.
Well, I'll just end this topic by merely turning to Sophie and going, I'll see you at the cinema.
Hey,
Would you say Pokemon counts? Because looking at the list of
Yeah.
games that are sold, right? Pokemon Red is 7, yeah. You then
yeah.
have Pokemon Gold, that's 21st. Pokemon Sun and Moon is 29th. Diamond is 30th. Ruby is 38th in the list of all-time games sold. That's the Pokemon series that have made it in. You then obviously have the other generations of Pokemon games. The latest one isn't in that list yet.
You also have to remember, Pokemon always split it up as well. They'd have like, is it Sapphire and Ruby, and they're both released at the same time, so people wouldn't be buying the same game. So in theory, to look at how well Pokemon actually did, you would have to look at Sapphire and Ruby and add the figures together.
Exactly. One thing I'm really interested about is the latest version of the game has DLC. In fact, one has come out as of the last couple of weeks.
I've not played that yet.
Neither have I. I haven't finished the first DLC yet. Every time I mean to do it, something else comes up. Like when Pokemon itself came out, I was so fast to complete that game.
Yeah, I've heard you're quite quick, but that's
At
for
Pokemon.
a different conversation. So what are we saying as we rock up to about the 30-minute mark? What are we saying makes a successful video game?
I reckon, from my own perspective, it's constantly reinventing, refreshing. People find games get stale after a while. There are some games, like Time Splitters, that came out years and years and years ago that put so much content on that it was quite hard to get bored of it. But
Yeah.
like, if it was in the nowadays, for example, they'd probably just be adding things here and there and everywhere. So I think a game like Phasmophobia could become a success if it reinvents itself constantly and keeps adding to the content like it's doing.
That's definitely a very interesting topic, which we will have to touch on at some point, like Phasmophobia and other games like that. Oh, sorry, it's Plasmophobia,
I was just
isn't it? Aaron.
I just use them as an example. I know they're not an all-time selling game yet, but
Yeah, they're an independent company, so...
But they're an example of a game that is changing, evolving right now, in here and now.
Exactly, and I think that's really important. So basically, do you think it's possible to have a story-based game be successful over a long period of time?
Well, I'm looking at the list of games, yeah? And Pokemon, if you count the different games that they've got in that list, is a story-based game. GTA has a story mode. But yeah, if you look at the top 10, most of them aren't story-based games. And I think the problem with a story-based game is that it's quite linear in direction. Because no matter how much no matter how much a game says you have choices, ultimately the game will funnel you into a particular direction or directions.
Yeah.
Whereas like the other games, you can take it in whatever direction you want.
Sorry. I was trying not to laugh when you said that.
Oh my.
It
I think
is
we've
what it
broken the
is.
Barroth.
It is what it is.
So, can we all confirm then it took literally not even a full 2 podcasts to break Barroth? This is going to go well, isn't it?
It was as you said that. Oh no! Why?
There is Red Dead 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 is in that list for story games. It is 14th. So there is a place for an incredible story. And in particular to Red Dead, I think the essence of that one was there was a lot happening in the game and there was a lot of freedom to do stuff.
It
But
was
ultimately-
very hyped. It was very, very hyped. And it'd be interesting to have a conversation about hype against video games. It's like, so I think Cyberpunk will quickly get into that list as well when it is finally released.
Of course. But at the same time, I just want to add our support for that studio right now.
Exactly. We support all developers and studios as long as you're not douchebags.
Hashtag end crunching.
So true. Red Dead crunched right at the end, didn't they? But as
They
I say,
did.
they probably gave their team about a 3-week holiday afterwards. So you've probably got your 2 sides of that one, which we could definitely get into in another podcast. So we have discussed. We did some speed questions with Aaron. We did some mental health in video games where we talked about Persona 5 and some other games like... I've just forgot the games we talked about. Celeste would be the one that we
Life
ended
is
on. Life
Strange
is Strange.
and Stardew.
Hellblade. Call of Duty.
And then we moved on to success in video games, and we've been discussing in regard of the fact, is success in video games harder to achieve by doing a story-based game? And it does appear so, that it's harder to achieve if we look at the facts and figures. But
And then we broke Bareth.
then you broke me. But on that note, we shall be calling that for this about a stream. I'm actually broke right now. This podcast, I'm gonna leave it to these beautiful voices. We'll start with Sophie this time because she ended it last time. So Sophie, would you like to say goodbye?
Sure. Well, later, guys. See you next podcast, and never forget, you are not alone. There's always someone, at least a call away, whether it's professional or a friend. You aren't alone.
We'll then go on to Aaron.
Yeah, Sophie just summed up, really. Don't forget, the Discord link is in the description, along with everyone else's Twitch links. Be sure to follow and subscribe for grade A quality content. I've been Aaron, and I'll catch you in a bit.
Roving.
I've been Roving, and next week I'm going to be Gary. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and remember, guys, it's okay to not be okay, and it is always, always okay to talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to people close to you, and if you don't feel comfortable doing it, there are lots of amazing services out there, whatever country you're in, whatever region of the world you're in. Those guys are trained. They've done years of experience to try and help you. Don't be afraid to approach them. Have yourselves an amazing week. And I'm out of here. Holla!
So thank you from me as well. You guys always absolutely rock it. The support you give each and every single person. I hope that you continue to do so. Keep yourself safe. Keep yourself well. You are brilliant. You are beautiful, and most of all, you are unique.
Do we get to do the scary bye again? 3, 2, 1. Bye!
Bye.
Are we out?
Beep, beep. You've been listening to a Sanctuary broadcast. We will now resume regular programming.